You've probably pictured it before. You walk past an insect, and in your
Hmm.
head you imagine what it must see. Some massive, looming giant blotting out the sky. A skyscraper with legs. That's the assumption almost everyone makes. It's wrong. Not just slightly wrong. Completely wrong. Most insects don't perceive you as a giant at all, because
Huh?
most insects barely perceive a coherent you in the first place. What they actually experience when you walk by is so different from human vision that the word see almost doesn't apply the same way. Here's what's actually happening. Human eyes have a single lens that focuses light onto a high-resolution retina, giving us sharp, detailed images. Most insects don't have this. Instead, they have compound eyes, thousands of tiny individual lenses, each capturing a separate fragment of the scene, which the brain then stitches together into a single image. The problem is resolution. A honeybee's compound eye has around 5,500 individual lenses. Human vision, by comparison, has an effective resolution equivalent to millions of pixels. If you converted a bee's vision into a digital image, the result would look like an extremely low-resolution pixelated mosaic, blurry shapes and color blocks rather than a sharp picture. To a bee, you don't appear as a detailed giant with a recognizable face and body. You appear as a large, vaguely defined mass of color and motion, more like an impressionist painting than a photograph. The bee knows something large is there. It has almost no idea what you actually look like. Vision isn't just about resolution, it's also about speed. Specifically, how many separate images per second a creature's brain can process. This is measured as flicker fusion rate, and humans process visual information at roughly 60 images per second before motion starts to blur together. Houseflies process visual information at nearly 250 images per second. To a fly, the world moves about 4 times slower than it does to you. This is exactly why flies are so difficult to swat. It's not that they're unusually fast, it's that to them, your hand is approaching in what is functionally slow motion, giving them what feels like ample time to react and escape. This changes the entire interaction. When you swing at a fly, you experience a quick, instinctive motion. The fly experiences something closer to watching a wall slowly creep toward it across several seconds, with plenty of time to calmly step aside. For a significant number of insects, vision isn't even the primary sense being used to detect you at all. Mosquitoes are a clear example. Their eyesight is poor and largely irrelevant at distance. Instead, they detect you primarily through carbon dioxide you exhale, body heat, and chemical compounds in your sweat. Tracking these signals from over 30 meters away, long before you're visible to them at all. To a mosquito, you aren't a giant shape walking toward it. You are a moving cloud of heat and chemical signals drifting through the air, detected and tracked entirely without a visual image forming at all. Ants operate similarly, but through a different sense entirely. Most ants have extremely poor eyesight, often only capable of detecting light and basic movement. Their primary tool for understanding their environment is pheromone trails and vibration sensed through the ground. If you're standing near an ant trail, the ant isn't visually registering you as a towering figure. It's feeling the vibration of your footsteps through the surface beneath it and reacting to scent signals far more than anything resembling sight. This points to something bigger than any single insect. For an enormous number of species, smell isn't just one sense among several. It's the primary channel through which the world is understood. You carry a unique chemical signature made up of skin bacteria, sweat composition, diet, and even genetics, one that's effectively as individual as a fingerprint. To insects relying on chemoreception, this scent profile often tells them far more about who and what you are than your shape or face ever could. A mosquito can distinguish between individual humans based on scent alone, even from a distance, before any visual contact happens at all. Even for insects with decent vision, like bees, the colors they perceive are fundamentally different from what you see. Bees can detect ultraviolet light, wavelengths completely invisible to human eyes. Many flowers have UV patterns on their petals, invisible to us, that act as landing guides for pollinators. This applies to you too. Human skin reflects UV light in patterns that vary depending on sun exposure, oils, and microscopic surface texture. Patterns you have never seen and never will, because human eyes simply aren't built to detect them. To a bee, your skin and clothing likely display a completely different set of colors and patterns layered on top of, or replacing entirely, the colors you perceive in the mirror. And UV light isn't the only extra channel many insects have access to. Bees and several other species can also detect the polarization of light, the orientation in which light waves vibrate as they travel, something completely invisible to human eyes. Polarized light patterns in the sky help these insects navigate even on cloudy days, and reflective surfaces, including human skin and clothing, may scatter polarized light in ways that add yet another invisible layer to how these insects perceive you. It's not just extra colors, it's an entirely additional sense humans simply don't have access to. Combined with their low resolution and constant motion blur, the picture becomes clear. You do not exist to most insects as a giant human being. You exist as a shifting, low-resolution mass of unfamiliar colors, moving in slow motion, surrounded by heat, chemical signals, and light patterns. Most of them are responding to more than anything they're actually seeing. So the next time you walk past an insect, assuming it's looking up at you in awe or terror at your size, it probably isn't. It's not registering a giant. In most cases, it's barely registering a you at all.